Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight on Ctv3 News, 2 men in custody following stabbing of police constable at Orange Walk nightclub. Severe flooding in Orange Walk caused by tropical wave prompts evacuations and ongoing relief efforts. Police provide update on Orange Walk robbery as suspect is detained amid ongoing investigation. And members of the Public Service Union and APSSM vote overwhelmingly to accept government salary proposal. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Monday, June 30th, 2025.
I welcome you to the graduation of our first cohort, as well as the launch of our second cohort of the project entitled Increasing Economic Power for Micro-Entrepreneurs.
Through this bilateral collaboration, the Women's Empowerment Project over the past 4 years, we have witnessed numerous women entrepreneurs making significant strides and fulfilling their potential. There are so many inspiring stories that encourage us to continue doing this.
We can celebrate 74 women that will graduate from round 1 of our ministry's Increasing Economic Power for Micro-Entrepreneurs project, and at the same time we're welcoming an additional 60 women entrepreneurs who will participate in round 2. To the women here today, you are the brains, you are the hearts, and the hands of this initiative, and you are the reason why we are here. Let this be a reminder that your voice matters, that your work matters, and that your economic empowerment is a national priority.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Police have tonight shared more information on the daylight robbery which occurred at the heart of Orange Walk Town on Friday afternoon. As we told you on Friday night, the incident played out at the peak of the torrential rains which was affecting the Orange Walk district on Friday. Reports are that shortly before 2 p.m., 3 workers of AAA Imports were headed to the bank to make a deposit when they were intercepted by a white SUV on Arthur Street. The group, who was traveling in a blue pickup truck, were approached by 2 male persons, one armed with a hammer and the other with a handgun. The assailants broke the driver's side window and even fired a gunshot into the vehicle before making off with 2 bags containing an undisclosed amount of cash. The armed robbers then attempted to flee the area, but before doing so, they reversed into Mayor Ladrick Shepherd's Gold Prado, which was traveling in the opposite direction. Police investigations have since led to the detention of 1 person who is believed to have been involved in the attack.
Police are investigating a robbery that occurred at approximately 1:30 p.m. on Friday, 27 June 2025 on Arthur Street in Orange Walk Town. Initial investigation revealed that on the aforementioned date and time, employees of AAA Imports were traveling on board a vehicle on Arthur Street when an SUV blocked their path and two male persons, one armed with a firearm and the other with a hammer, exited the vehicle and proceeded to rob the employees of an undisclosed amount of money belonging to AAA Imports. The male persons thereafter returned to the SUV and made good their escape. Police have detained one person in connection with this ongoing investigation.
While police did not confirm that this incident may have been perpetrated by persons linked to the well-known business, they confirmed that all angles are being looked at.
There is no indication at this moment that can conclusively say so. However, how the incident unfolded, inference can be made in that regard. However, it is not conclusive at this point.
The vehicle sustained the vehicle sustained damages when they reversed into the mayor's vehicle. So that it becomes conspicuous. Has the vehicle been recovered?
Police are currently making out efforts to locate the vehicle and the persons in that incident. Indeed, the manner in which the incident unfolded indicated a level of planning and organization, and the location is certainly a main street. However, the police continues to investigate, and we do know that when it is that weather conditions are not ideal, that is when criminals may feel more emboldened to take actions because of the circumstances. But as a department, we continue to conduct preventative patrols and operations to preserve law and order.
As we had reported on Friday, Mayor Ladrick Shepherd did not receive any major injuries during the incident and was reported in good health following the crash. Two men are tonight in police custody and expecting charges following the stabbing of a police constable who was on duty at a nightclub in Orange Walk Town over the weekend. Police today confirmed that Police Constable David Banner was injured in the early hours of Sunday while providing security at the establishment. The officer remains hospitalized in a stable condition. The incident occurred as PC Banner and another officer, PC Randy Koi, were manning the entrance when a group of men attempted to enter the club, which had already closed for the night.
Police have detained two male persons in connection with the stabbing of Police Constable David Banner, who was providing security at a nightclub in Orange Walk. Initial investigations revealed that approximately 3:25 a.m., PC Banner along with another officer were conducting security at the business establishment when a group of male persons sought to gain entry. They were denied as the establishment had already closed. However, the group of male persons is reported to have attacked the officers, which resulted in the injury to the police constable David Banner.
So now I understand that the constable got beat up pretty bad.
Yes, two officers in that incident were injured. One received a lesser degree of injury, and the other indeed was stabbed to the abdomen and received several wounds or blows to other part of the body.
The incident, according to Assistant Superintendent of Police Stacy Smith, has raised the need for a review of the security operations at the establishment.
Certainly, the incident necessitates a review of the security mechanisms at that location. I cannot confirm at this time if the officers were armed. I will provide that information to you. However, I suspect that to be the case since they were working special duty at a night establishment. Definitely, police officers have been called upon to respond to incidents of serious nature, and it is always an unfortunate occurrence when anyone is injured in any incident of that sort, certainly when it is that it is something that could have been avoided.
PC Banner was stabbed in the abdomen and sustained several other injuries, while Constable Koyib received less serious injuries. Authorities are tonight investigating the stabbing death of 18-year-old Kevin DePass, who was killed during an altercation involving two off-duty cops in Kocker. The incident occurred around 2:30 a.m. near a fast food stand and involved several persons, including the two officers who apparently tried to intervene. During police's weekly press briefing, Assistant Superintendent Stacy Smith confirmed that the officers attempted to break up a fight between several individuals. Shortly after leaving the scene, the group reportedly returned in a golf cart and a second confrontation broke out. During the clash, DePass was fatally stabbed. Two other civilians were injured, one critically, and one of the officers also sustained stab wounds.
Police are investigating a fatal stabbing incident which occurred at approximately 2:30 a.m. on Monday, 30th June 2025 in Kocker. So far, what police have learned is that two off-duty police officers were in front of a fast food establishment when they observed a golf cart with male occupants stopping at their location, and one of the male occupants is reported to have shoved an individual who was similarly at the fast food stand. It is reported that the officers intervened to this ongoing altercation and the male persons would have departed. It is reported and alleged that that golf cart with the male person along with other male persons returned to the location shortly thereafter, and an altercation ensued between the off-duty officers and the occupants of the golf cart. The altercation resulted in the fatal stabbing of 18-year-old Kevin DePass, the injury to one of the police officers by way of a stab wound, and another injury to the other officer, as well as the injury of Canol, who is reported to be in a stable condition, and another male person, Nishan Allen, that was in the group, who is reported to be in a critical condition. The police's investigation into this matter continues. The commissioner has emphasized the need for a thorough investigation to be conducted both by the Major Crimes Unit of the Police Department and the Professional Standards Branch. Commissioner Rosado has also reached out to the family of the victim in this incident and is heading out to San Pedro, to Kocker, in relation to this incident.
Taking into account the sensitivity of the situation, Commissioner of Police Dr. Richard Rosado has since ordered a full investigation into the matter.
The directives from the DPP will dictate whether it is a murder. It is still a very young investigation. The file will be compiled and sent to the office of the DPP, where determinations will be made as to what charges are to be levied under the circumstances.
From what is known at this point, who were the aggressors in the dispute?
As I would have stated, from what the police officer who had communicated briefly, is that there was an incident and they intervened, and during that course of the police intervening, the incident grew to the level that it did.
The case is also expected to be forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecutions for review and a decision on whether charges will be brought.
Commissioner Asado has indicated and has instructed that a very thorough investigation be conducted. He is physically going to Kocker to meet with the residents and to give them that assurance that it is an incident that the department wishes to investigate fully, and certainly it is the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution that will conclusively say what charges are to be levied under the circumstances.
When we left you on Friday, the Orange Walk district was experiencing severe weather conditions which led to widespread flooding, disrupting daily life and forcing evacuations in several communities. Major damage was recorded to homes and properties as water levels were at all-time high in various areas. Last week, severe weather conditions, according to Chief Meteorological Officer Ronald Gordon, was triggered by 2 active tropical waves that passed over the region.
Had inclement weather conditions towards the end of last week. It started off, I would say, around Wednesday when we had a tropical wave cross the country. And then that was followed by another tropical wave on Friday, which was more active. That system eventually moved across the country, and an area of low pressure formed on it just to the west of Belize. And it eventually moved west-northwestward into the Bay of Campeche, where it became Tropical Depression number 2, and eventually was upgraded to Tropical Storm Barry, which eventually made landfall over eastern Mexico over the weekend. Currently, that system has dissipated, and we are seeing an improvement in weather conditions. Actually, that started from around Saturday. So we had significant rainfall. I think the bulk of the rainfall was on Friday, and then again on Saturday, Friday night into Saturday morning. And by mid-morning on Saturday, conditions began to improve over most of the country. And that has been so for the rest of the weekend into today, Monday.
Between Wednesday and Saturday, areas within the north, particularly in Orange Walk, experienced up 13 inches of rainfall.
We had a very significant amount of rainfall in the Orange Walk district. I could focus on 2 stations. One is Tower Hill, where we recorded between Wednesday and Saturday about 330 millimeters of rainfall. That converts to about roughly 12 inches plus of rainfall. And also at Douglas, which is a bit north of there, we recorded 321 millimeters of rainfall, which again is about 12, almost 13 inches of rainfall in that particular area. And based on the analysis that we have seen, most of that rainfall occurred on Friday last week, and again on Saturday morning early. So in a very short time period, we had significant rainfall in those areas, and that is what contributed to the flooding that you saw in those locations.
The heavy rains caused significant flooding, forcing dozens of residents from the villages of Trawl Farm and San Pablo to evacuate. NEMO coordinator Daniel Mendez reported that 54 people sought shelter in emergency facilities, which opened on Friday night. While most have since returned home as flood waters receded and roads reopened, several individuals remain at the San Pablo Community Center and are still receiving assistance.
So based on the flooding that was recorded, based on the rainfall that was recorded over on Friday night, we saw that there were several villages that were affected as a result of flooding. We put out a statement this morning basically to state that overall, 54 persons from the villages of Trawl Farm and San Pablo were housed in emergency shelters, and these were open as of Friday night. As of this morning, most of those seeking shelter have returned home, as conditions have improved and most roads are now passable. However, there are still 26 people at the San Pablo Community Center who continue to receive support from NEMO.
Damage assessment teams have been dispatched to the affected communities to evaluate the situation and identify ongoing needs. Relief and supplies management teams continue to provide essential items, including food, clean water.
Today we are doing damage assessments. Damage assessment teams are out conducting assessments on areas that had been impacted and determining exactly what happened. The Relief and Supplies Management Committee has also been on the ground, they're doing follow-up visits with those affected families and ensuring that they continue to receive food, water, hygiene supplies, and bedding. This support will continue as long as it's necessary in order for us to alleviate those persons, the impact that these persons had. Our organization remains committed to assisting all of the impacted persons. And we know that there has been a lot of work done over the last few days, and we want to thank all of those people who participated with us. So we will be looking at what happened and trying to ensuring that we can address any issue that appears over the next few days. And as we stated, we had been monitoring this situation with the National Met Service and the National Hydrological Service over the past few days, and we will continue to do so throughout the rest of the season.
Although accessibility has improved across the Orange Walk district, NEMO is urging motorists to proceed with caution, especially in areas like Guinea Grass and San Roman, where some roads remain waterlogged and can prove to be dangerous.
Of course, again, we put out a statement this morning informing the public of the status of roads, particularly in the Orange Walk district. We know now that the Yeo Creek, the road leading to Yeo Creek is passable. The roads leading to Santa Marta are passable, but we are asking drivers to exercise extreme caution. In the Guinea Grass village area, the road is now passable. In San Roman, it is possible for high trucks and vehicles only. Again, we encourage drivers to exercise extreme caution while traversing this area. In the village of San Antonio and August Pine Ridge, water has receded and those roads are now passable.
Chief Met Ronald Gordon today also confirmed the favorable conditions in the coming days. However, Belizeans should prepare for more rain by the middle of this week.
The forecast going forward is calling for generally fair conditions to persist, at least for the next day or so. However, we do have a tropical wave approaching the country, and that one should be near us by tomorrow, and it will result in another increase in rainfall. However, based on current projections, we are not expecting as much rainfall from that system as we had from the last one due to unfavorable conditions or not as favorable conditions at the higher levels of the atmosphere.
The Ministry of Infrastructure Development has also confirmed that it is currently carrying out damage assessment in several areas across the north. Coming up next, government launches $500,000 fight against worst sugarcane season in decades as the industry faces massive losses. Stay tuned.
Hola, ¿estás en tu teléfono móvil ahora mismo, navegando las redes sociales, escuchando la radio o viendo televisión? ¿Alguna vez te has detenido a pensar qué es lo que le da energía a mi dispositivo? La electricidad es esencial para nuestra vida diaria, dando energía a nuestros hogares, negocios, transporte y por supuesto esa serie que no puedes dejar de ver. Pero, ¿cómo funciona todo esto? En esta temporada de What's and Whys of Energy, te llevamos detrás de cámaras, hablando con nuestros expertos y trayéndote novedades y respuestas a tus preguntas más importantes sobre la energía. Mi nombre es Emanuel Pech y te invito a acompañarnos en vivo por Facebook y prepárate para ver la energía desde una nueva perspectiva. Dale like, comparte y síguenos para ser parte de la conversación.
Belize Electricity Limited, providing you safe and reliable power when you need it.
At Centaur, we believe that keeping up with technology is just the beginning. What really matters is the care and support we provide every step of the way. Our commitment to exceptional customer service means you never have to wait long for help. You're not just a number, you're part of the family. Fast speeds, reliable connections, and the support you deserve. Because with Centaur, your connection is our commitment. For more information, give us a call at 380-0101.
Members of the Public Service Union of Belize, PSU, have voted overwhelmingly to accept the government's latest salary adjustment and increment proposal. According to Circular 5 of 2025, issued by the union, approximately 75.68% of members voted in favor, while 25.05% voted against. While the official release did not disclose specific details of the government's offer, we understand that it entails a salary adjustment of 4.5% in the first instance on October 1st, with the full 8.5% salary adjustment being implemented over 2 years and the 2 increments to be unfrozen within those 2 years. With a clear mandate from the membership, the union indicated it will proceed in accordance with the vote outcome. Nonetheless, it acknowledged a sizable minority who rejected the proposal and maintained that they remain open to industrial action if necessary to secure better terms. In addition to its negotiations, the PSU committed to closely monitoring the implementation timelines of the agreement and collaborating through joint committees on critical national issues. These include the pension reform, revenue enhancement, cost-saving measures, and broader public sector reforms aiming at improving efficiency and service delivery. We understand the vote was necessary since today would have been the expiration of the 21 days notice of a trade dispute. As of press time, the voting results of the Belize National Teachers Union remain unknown. On June 27, 2025, the Occupational Safety and Health OSH Bill 2025 was introduced in the House of Representatives by Honorable Florencio Marin Jr., Minister of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor, and Local Government. This landmark legislation establishes a modern and comprehensive legal framework to safeguard the safety, health, and well-being of workers across Belize. The bill repeals the outdated Factories Act and is the result of over a decade of development. It is grounded in extensive consultations and supported by technical assistance from the International Labour Organization, ILO. It aligns with ILO Conventions number 155 and number 187 and supports the National Decent Work Country Program 2024-2029. A key feature of the bill is the proposed restructuring of OSH governance. Based on ILO guidance, the legislation introduces a National OSH Advisory Committee and an OSH Inspectorate within the Ministry of Labor. This structure will enhance administrative efficiency and strengthen coordination within the broader labor administration system. The integrated model also allows flexibility to support future institutional growth. To ensure the OSH framework remains dynamic and responsive to economic changes, the bill provides a structured path towards the future establishment of a standalone OSH authority.
The ministry conducted dialogue with everyone, but that is one of the reasons that the ministry gave the advice. When we took it finally to cabinet after the Attorney General's ministry reviewed the bill, When we took it to cabinet, we recommended so as for perhaps one last review by the affected parties. We put it at committee so that when there's a hearing on it, then people can bring their issues if need be. But we're very excited. I mean, we're truly hopeful that we can bring this bill to fruition, make it into law as quick as possible. I think it will be beneficial for Belize, for everyone involved, for all stakeholders involved. We can't anticipate everything, but that's why we well, not really delay. That's why we consulted with ILO, because we just returned from an ILO conference. I mean, there's such a thing that is called the platform economy, the issues of biohazards within the workplace, all of these issues that at some point in time we will be affected by if we are not affected by them as yet. And we have to try to be ahead of the game in that.
The bill outlines the responsibility of employers, workers, suppliers, designers, and property owners. It also introduces important provisions, including whistleblower protections, mandatory reporting of workplace accidents and diseases, and the formation of workplace safety committees. Enforcement measures include improvement notices, prohibition orders, and administrative penalties. On Friday morning, the 2024-2025 sugarcane crop season officially wrapped up, marking the end of what industry analysts are calling one of the most disastrous seasons in recent memory. Yields have plummeted to unprecedented lows, with cane quality deteriorating to historic depths. The financial repercussions are expected to be severe and widespread. Preliminary estimates indicate that total sugar production will be just under 79,000 metric tons of sugarcane, a figure that ranks among the lowest in the past 35 to 40 years. The previous record low was recorded in 2008, with just over 79,000 metric tons produced. The economic impact is equally alarming. The industry is projected to generate approximately $110 million, primarily in foreign exchange, representing a sharp decline of $53 million from $163.5 million earned last year. Farmers' earnings are also expected to drop significantly. With current cane prices, they are expected to receive no more than $65 per ton, a decrease of $25 per ton compared to last year's $90.23. This translates to a total loss of around $31 million for farmers compared to 2024. In response to these dire circumstances, the government has announced plans to inject funds into the industry. The Ministry of Agriculture has identified $500,000 for a pilot project aimed at combating the disease afflicting the fields. Earlier this year, researchers at the Sugar Industry Research and Development Institute, CIRDI, swiftly developed and tested a potential treatment on 2 on-farmed research plots. Initial results are promising, offering hope for future control measures. Additionally, discussions have been held with the American Sugar Industry, Beet Sugar Research, ASI, BSR, who have brought in their soil scientists from Florida, where similar issues have been successful management. Both parties are collaborating with the Ministry of Agriculture to determine the most effective strategies to halt the disease's spread and to rehabilitate infected fields. Addressing the crisis, Minister of Agriculture Jose Mai emphasized that local sugar prices will need to increase to stabilize the industry and support affected farmers.
We have been discussing it for some time. We've been getting some pushback. But I think that it is just fair that the farmers get a fair price for their sugar. Now, we are working on a paper right now. We had submitted one to cabinet. I didn't get approval for it. But we are revisiting it, seeing that it's necessary for the farmer to get an extra, an increase in the sugar price. What's important here is that the benefits of an increased price be what you call it is justified one, and that is equitable. But the farmer does get a fair increase. It has to be structured. I'm just thinking aloud that the industrial people will have a special price because they use large quantities. The bread makers, for example. I think it has to be zoned where Orange Joak would be maybe the cheapest because of transportation, but you can't expect Toledo to be the same price as Orange Joak when you have transportation costs. So it's a structured price that we are looking at. We haven't finalized it. We both ministries are working at Ministry of Economic Transformation and my ministry are working at, because I have supplies control. But we are looking at it. It is necessary, absolutely necessary, and so we're and at the same time, per capita consumption of sugar, as I explained in last cabinet, is very little. I mean, it won't impoverish anybody if you increase the price to what we have been thinking. And secondly, we must discourage the use of too much sugars. It is unhealthy, right? And so all these things, I think, need to be taken into consideration. But we have to be fair to the producer. We have to be fair to the industry. For many, many years, the price has remained so low to consumers that the Guatemalans rush for it, Mexicans rush for it. I mean, so it's time for us to think about supporting the farmers seriously in giving them an increase.
As mentioned previously, this year's crop season has been severely affected by Fusarium, and it is expected that 2025-2026 crop season will also be affected. While industry stakeholders are looking at implementing various methods to contain the proliferation of the fungus, one matter that is being looked at also are the fields of Santander, which have not been impacted by the pathogen.
Fusarium did not happen overnight. Okay, Fusarium has been in the soil forever. It's a part of the soil environment. It's there. It's soil borne, but it has never become a pathogen. A pathogen is a disease-causing organism in sugarcane. What went wrong? What went wrong? Okay, why did Fusarium become a pathogen? Well, the experts believe climate change and excess high temperatures in the soil. One, we've burned sugarcane fields for 50 years. Twice a year. We burn the fields to cut the cane, and after we've cut the cane and harvested, we burn the trash. So we are destroying the soil, the microbes. So we've burned out the good microbes in the soil, and the bad ones are the ones that stay. Like in many cases, the bad prevails, right?
So it may be that in the case of Santander, because they're just starting out, they're not.
Absolutely. Their soil is still intact 10 years. Their practices are a lot different from ours in the north. They've learned. They harvest with mechanized, with machines, and so they do one burning.
The sugar industry finds itself in a turbulent crossroads as it grapples with both environmental and contractual pressures. While the resilience of the region's sugarcane fields is being tested by extreme stress, the industry's governing bodies are also navigating complex legal and commercial disputes. One of the key concerns is the upcoming season's contractual arrangements. The BSCFA must determine whether to renew or adjust its agreement with ASR-BSI. The decision looms large, especially as the association considers whether to allow the current agreement to simply roll over to the new season or to negotiate new terms. This contractual uncertainty adds to the already strained situation facing the sector. Compounding these issues, legal battles are underway between the BSCFA and BSI-ASR concerning fair trade funds.
I think about that a lot, honestly. The farmers are in the court right now with BSI anti-denial for fair trade funds owed to them. Somewhere in the vicinity, I think, of more than, $9 million, I don't know. That is in the courts right now. The farmers want them, their fair trade money. Now there's time for a new commercial agreement. The farmers and the mill are in trouble right now. The mill cannot operate without the farmers, and the farmers cannot operate without the mill. The mill with 886,000 tons today. Next year, 700,000 tons maybe. The mill cannot operate with that Bounty King, maintaining of staff or a operational cost at the same. So they may have to scale down, they may have to do some restructuring, I don't know, I don't speak for the mill. But all this now complicates the negotiations with the agreement, on the agreement. And so, again, I think of it a lot, and I sometimes think of what we can do. I think that one of the things that the industry needs to start to do is stop spending on expensive litigation. I mean, these people have, I mean, they both have some very expensive attorneys. Well, good attorney, not cheap, right? And so we're spending scarce resources on litigation and not focusing on dealing with the problem at hand.
And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
The total span of the entire structure is approximately 25 meters, and it also has an overall width of 12.5 meters, which includes 2 lanes and also 2 pedestrian footpaths of 2 meters each. The design span for this bridge is basically 75 to 100 years, so that's the expectation of its life.
It's $2.4 million to complete the bridge, and we also did the boat ramp. We had to incur a little bit additional expense because we did the pontoon to be able to allow the residents to be able to cross while we are building. Infrastructure is one of the key elements for economic development. It allows people to generate more income. It does so many things. It will open the whole area for free flow of traffic. It gives you safety, and we are allowing, because of the height of the bridge, we are allowing now traffic of boats underneath. It will enhance the tourism product. It betters the quality of life of the neighborhood. And that's what we want to do. We are here to serve the people, and these projects is a symbol of that.
I wish to announce the renaming of the new bridge, not in a spirit of resentment towards our colonial history, but to honor an individual who truly reflected the country's identity, aspirations, and progress.
It's good, I would say good, and people will be happy to see a new bridge.
I'm very, very elated that this bridge has finally been realized for the people of today. It will change a lot. We'll move better, we'll move faster, and some people might even stop and take pictures because they're a pretty bridge, they're a nice bridge. I like the bridge.
From the minute I heard about it, something that I personally wanted done, this is a welcome news for Punta Gorda.
The Supplies Control Unit has announced an increase in liquefied petroleum gas LPG prices by 12 cents per gallon and $2 per 100-pound cylinder countrywide. The new prices took effect today are $4.32 wholesale, $5.92 per gallon retail in urban areas, and $6.02 per gallon in rural areas. Retail prices are up to $1.35 per pound in urban areas and $1.37 per pound in rural areas. This means that a 100-pound cylinder of LPG will now cost you $135 in the towns and cities and $137 elsewhere. An increase in acquisition costs for propane and butane drove the change. The public is advised that the prices established for imported LPG are based on the mixtures of 70-30 propane-butane only as per the requirement of the Belize National Standard Specification for liquefied petroleum gas LPG. Recently, Minister of Foreign Affairs Francis Fonseca represented Belize at the 55th meeting of the Organization of American States OAS General Assembly. The OAS General Assembly was held in Antigua and Barbuda. The OAS is made up of 32 active members from Latin America, North America, and the Caribbean, and provides a useful forum for engagement on issues of concerns to the hemisphere. I also used the opportunity to meet with friends and partners of Belize, Minister Fonseca noted. The General Assembly was centered on the theme, building resilient, inclusive economies in the Americas, and foster dialogue, cooperation, and strategic partnerships to address the region's economic, social, and environmental challenges. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Tuesday, July 1st, here on Ctv3 News and Face FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3 Belize News or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.